You've been involved in a motorcycle accident. I'm the biker on your side. I'm Fran Hush, your attorney that rides. Motorcycle accidents get my experience, personal attention, and there are no fees, no costs, unless you win. I've dedicated my career to helping accident victims and their loved ones. Your rights are my fight, and I'll never settle for less than you deserve. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, please call me at 866-LAW-FRAN or log on to lawfran.com.
Seattle Engraving Center, the masters of gun customization, featuring incredible detailed engraving, 24-karat gold plating, diamonds, gems, murals, amazing gold accents, first-class quality, 100% satisfaction. More bang for your buck from their showroom. Raise money for your charity with a one-of-a-kind prize. Seattle Engraving. You dream it, they will create it.
Wildwood Antique Malls, 3 amazing locations to find your treasures in Florida. Vero Beach, Eustis, Wildwood. More than just antiques. Tons of rare collectibles, toys, books, vintage furniture, records, jewelry, and so much more. Open 7 days a week. Great staff, clean, and air conditioned for your shopping pleasure for the whole family. So put it on your bucket list because it's a must-see for these 3 locations. For more information, wildwoodantiquemalls.com.
Bikers Info USA, the first bikers app by bikers, for bikers, and it's free. National and state events, Sturgis and Daytona, Bikers Info USA. Every motorcycle manufacturer dealer listed. Biker products for you and your bike. Bikers Info USA. Find the places to go, places to party, places to stay at every event. Bikers Info USA. Download it now. It's free. Bikers Info USA.
Hey, 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 it's the
John and
Heather Show. Me. Coming to you all live from
our production studio, riding with this fine bunch back here, born to ride since it's Tuesday. Take it away.
Oh, I will, baby. It's Tuesday evening, and we're here live. Happy to see all of you. And it is a wonderful night. And, well, we are just one happy bunch, aren't we, baby? Taco Tuesday, Titty Tuesday, whatever it may be for you, it is always a wonderful night. We've got so much in store. We're looking forward to having a fun evening with you. Mm-hmm. We've got some wonderful videos to share with you, and we hope you guys will have fun watching them with us. Mm-hmm. We've got some chit-chat to talk about and some shit to shoot.
Okay, we'll shoot the shit.
That's right. Okay. So let's talk about everybody's weekend.
I'll let you do the lead in and I'll follow you.
What you did, where you went, who you saw, what you did, and what gossip you heard.
We went to a birthday party.
And it wasn't mine, and I didn't get older, thank God.
No, we went to our good buddies, Lee and Sheila. Very fine
Lee and Sheila, yes, happy birthday to you all.
Our very fine British couple that came here to the United States. We really appreciate you. And that's okay. Really appreciate you, and thank you for having us come out to your birthday party. It was their It was their
birthday party, Lee's birthday party, and their 20th anniversary
party. So it was a Roaring 20s theme, and it was just pretty cool because we took pictures of everybody out there.
They were all dressed in their 20s
like
flappers.
My friend Lee, somebody made him a metal rat, so he had a dirty rat, and then
dirty
we had a fake Tommy gun. They had a band playing, and we had a great time. I mean, the food was great.
It was fantastic,
and we just want to say thank you very much, Lee and Sheila, for being our friends and inviting us to your birthday / anniversary party / let's just come in and have a good time.
Everybody get together and just all be a happy bunch of bikers all in one place together, a bunch of drunks.
Go ahead and say it.
We had fun with that, didn't we?
Who just chimed in?
Oh, somebody chimed in. Let's say hello.
From
Chris
the Ozarks. That's my buddy Fish. He just chimes in. He's one of our biggest fans. Always likes our show, and one of my best friends. Thank you, Fish. Thank you, brother.
How you doing this evening, Chris? How you doing, sir? Hope you're doing well down in the Ozarks. Up in the Ozarks.
Down in Venezuela.
Been there, done that. Don't want to go back.
No.
Oh, no.
So anyway, we had a good time going to the party. Then we went out to Easter dinner at our good friend's house, Guard Dog and Ninja.
We had a great time with Guard Dog and Ninja. They were so much fun. We rode our bike all the way out. Where we live is in Citrus County in Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. And we rode our bike from Beverly Hills to Zephyr Hills,
which is about 65 miles, which generally wouldn't be too bad. It's a nice ride.
We like to ride everywhere.
Yeah, we like to ride everywhere. Unfortunately, the weather was iffy now. Anybody out there that's a Florida rider understands that this time of year, anywhere between now and fall, basically you're going to get wet if you ride. There's no way around it. You cannot be a fair weather rider in this state.
Exactly. It's going to happen.
So anyway, we got stuck in a downpour. Then it would stop, then it would pour. Then it would stop.
Then it would pour.
By the time we made it to our friend's house, we were basically drowned rats.
We were dirty drowned rats.
She was a drowned squirrel.
Yes, we were. And not to mention, our good friends, they bought their piece of property, their lot, which is
dirt
really
road.
nice. It's back off somewhere, so you have to ride off into dirt roads. And we ride a big bagger.
Yeah,
We
my
ride an
don't-
Ultra.
It's not an off-road vehicle, man. I can tell you that right now. That Ultra does not like it when it's wet. It doesn't like it. Well, the road's not so bad, but if you get that sucker in mud,
It's not happy.
no, it's not a happy bike.
And we have a trunk on top of everything else. We
So
have
I'm
a
rolling
trunk
heavy.
we put on the sucker.
I'm always rolling heavy, and I got her in the back, and me, and everything else. I'm rolling about 1,100 pounds.
And I'm in the back
Yeah.
with music, having a good
Super
time.
squirrel back there. We're soaking wet. She's having a good time. Go to our friend's house, ride off, park my bike in the garage, looking at all the polishing I'm gonna have to do when I get home.
Yeah.
But the night ride was, we had a great time.
Yeah.
Steaks and food and desserts. And thank you very much, Chris and Pete, for having us out to your house.
We
for
had a
Easter.
blast over there.
For
And
Easter
thank
with
you.
the family. It was very nice to meet the family too. And we thank you very much for your hospitality.
Yes,
If
we
everybody
did.
don't know them, they're in charge of the CARES
Bikers
pinwheel,
Care.
Bikers Care pinwheel run that we do to show support and show awareness, to get awareness out there. There's Chris right there.
There she is.
You
Oh,
get
hi,
so weird.
Ninja.
Yeah,
How
Ninja.
are you? We were just talking
Just
about
talking,
you,
the ears must have
girl.
been ringing.
And what a good cook you are, and how wonderful
Oh,
you
steak.
are
She
behind the
made-
barbecue.
Ooh, the steak.
Woo!
Ooh,
All
that was
4
good.
foot 11 inches of you.
Mean steak, boy, I can tell you that right now. So we had the steak. It was a nice ride home, though. I will admit that there was no rain, no puddles. It was just a nice night ride home.
We had a very good time over there. We need to do it more often. We need to get out. And I have decided, for everybody out there watching, you all know, we are now up for dinner date adoptions. And that means if you all don't have anybody at your dinner plate or at your dinner table, and you feel that you and your partner need to have some couple come over and
You need to have her.
have somebody, have
Yeah.
some another couple come in and have dinner with you all,
What did Chris say?
just call us.
Of course, I think Chris is saying.
We'll come over and have dinner with
We had a
y'all.
great time. Yes, that's what Chris
Oh,
did. We
thank
went
you,
over there.
Ninja. We really
Yeah.
had a good
We
time
had a
with
really
you.
good time with you guys. And her husband, Pete, is a guru behind the computer.
He's my new computer
I
sensei.
was able to teach Heather a couple of new editing tricks, which we really desperately needed to know. And it was so simple how he did it. It was like click, 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 like this.
He could do it in his sleep. Let me tell you, this man is an amazing man behind the computer.
If you never edited
And-
before, you'd understand. 'cause it takes
Yeah.
hours,
Yeah, so
hours.
watch out, guys, because I'm going to make you guys some new mean ass videos. And when these videos start coming out, I'm going to be having some new stuff in these videos to show you.
Yeah.
And it's all because of Guard Dog and
Mhm.
what he taught me. So thank you so much, Guard Dog. You are
Yes.
an amazing sensei.
All right, on that note, do you want to lead us into the video?
All right, I shall. We are going to be talking about today,
Dale Walksler,
and he is the curator.
of Walksler's, Dale's Wheels Through Time. His father, Dale, started the museum, and after he passed, his son took it over, and there was actually a TV show they did a couple seasons, or a season on, was it maybe TL? I'm not sure what company it was, but he had Dale's Wheels Through Time. So,
And the museum itself is just amazing.
yeah, so his son took over, you know.
Okay.
So his son took over the museum, and I'll tell you right now, you want to talk about somebody? This man kicked over a 1914 Harley right in front of us on the second start. Every motorcycle that he has in the museum runs, and no matter where it is, no matter what's going on, it runs. So Matt Walksler is now the new curator, and I'll tell you right now, he's just a really good guy, good family man. And Born to Ride did a story on him. We did a story on him. So we're just going to go ahead and bring you both.
Both of them.
Yep, both of them. So go and enjoy.
We had an amazing time when we went out there. We're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to show you some
Maggie
stuff
Valley.
after that later.
Yeah,
But
Maggie
first,
Valley.
we're going to show you Born to Ride, and we're going to show you the actual clips from Dale and show you some of what Dale has and his
some of our walkthrough clips and things like
in
that.
the beginning of Dale. So let's go. Well, we're going to show you Dale himself.
Oh yeah,
talking
there you go. That's what she tried
in
to
the
spit out.
museum. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's rock and roll, y'all. And Chris Ninja, thank you.
kind of thought processes in the old bike world. He's one of the first guys to be really, really, really into originality, untampered with motorcycles, machines that had survived from barn finds to beautiful original paint, well-preserved stuff.
Walking swap meets with Dale. It was part social, part educational, and part just crazy. The people who would come up to him and talk to him at swap meets, people he'd known forever, all the stories you'd hear. But he was always the first one out there looking. And that speaks volumes about his personality. He was determined.
Dale Walksler worked all of his waking hours, again, fueled by his passion to get the job done. But we would come in, we would run the museum for 8 hours, we'd go out and have a dinner.
And then he would go, "You hear that? It's a 36 Knucklehead engine calling me." And out the door he'd go, and he'd be in the shop till midnight.
The first 7 years, I believe, that the museum was open, the museum ran 364 days a year.
And a lot of times, he was the only person in that museum. I mean, if anybody came in, he did everything. It was, he worked from dawn to dusk. He was there before I got there at 6:30, and he was there late at night working on motorcycles, probably most of the night.
His dedication to this project and this museum was 24 hours a day. And it was not uncommon for him to call me any time of the night and say, "I just want to run an idea by you."
Well, last night was a late night in the back shop working on the 1924, 1925 FH Hill Climber, and today's a whole new day.
Introducing the 1937 Harley-Davidson Knucklehead, starting with an all-original Knucklehead engine, cradled in a genuine 1937 chassis and front end, then finished in 1 year only Delphine blue, striped in teak red, and edged in gold. This 30-year collection of parts makes for the rarest raffle bike we've ever given away. Get your tickets for the 2022 Wheels Through Time raffle bike and help support the museum that runs.
World's only motorcycle rally on a cruise ship. Free drinks and 13 months to pay. And it sails October 29th through November 5th, 2022. $100 discount per cabin. Use promo code BTR. For more info, go to highseasrally.com. That's the High Seas Rally, October 29th through November 5th, 2022. Don't miss the High Seas Rally.
Running this museum is really no different than running this motorcycle. You have to know what you're doing, but you really have to have the passion for it.
I think many who would be, watching this, seeing this, could appreciate Dale's gift for having a dream about something, even something audacious, and then actualizing it, by putting in the work.
For a guy that was always motivated towards forward progress, I think, his vision was kind of ever evolving as he would set a goal, a lofty one, and he would get there, oftentimes sooner than he thought he would, and then readjust and recalibrate and raise the bar a little more, and then shoot in that direction. His vision was a continual refinement with an overall goal of affecting and connecting with people, and he did that through motorcycles.
So many people walk through the door and they wonder how one person, even in 52 years, could put together a collection of this size, and it was because of that passion that Dale had.
I've spent over 40 years tracking down rare machines, memorabilia, and artifacts, but the real find here at Wheels Through Time is the history behind the machines.
It's staggering to think that he began by buying a Survey car in his youth, starting a small motorcycle shop, then getting the backing of his dad, buying this Harley-Davidson dealership and being the youngest Harley-Davidson dealer ever, and then building it into this, again, world-class organization that serviced all kinds of folks from near and wide.
He recognized that beyond the dealership enterprise and what could be done with a dealership, there was a much broader, market for Dale's prowess in other American motorcycles and other American-made products. And his collection was already pretty amazing by then. He had a Wheels Through Time in Southern Illinois that was modest by comparison, but he was well on his way to, being a museum operator, curator when he was transitioning.
The growth of the museum from Mount Vernon to Maggie Valley is unparalleled. Mount Vernon, there was quite a few cars. Actually, Dale was a car collector, and he also liked old motorcycles, and it was a very worthy collection down in Mount Vernon, but it's nothing like it is at Wheels Through Time Museum today. It is phenomenal. I don't know, there's maybe bigger museums in the country, but there is none like Wheels Through Time Museum that has the bikes sitting out where you can walk around them, sit on them, hear them run. It's the museum that runs.
He kind of redefined what a museum is. Historically, museums are pretty quiet places, kind of dull, not a lot of excitement and energy happening inside the museum. And his vision for Wheels Through Time was very different.
I mean, the Smithsonian collection is magnificent, but it doesn't run.
Pat and Chris knew that at Wheels Through Time, everything runs. There was no better place to see their machine come back to life. It's exactly what we do. Take old pieces of history and make them run. Kind of a simple thing. Just kick it. Making a digital presentation is nothing new for me. Over 10 years ago, I started with the Time Machine, and that parlayed into our hit television show, What's in the Barn on Velocity. By the way, that show airs all over the world today. I'm Dale Walksler, and I dig deep into America's barns. There's layers of history in here. I'm a hunter and a gatherer, on the trail for unique and antique. Oh, that's it. Yesterday's junk is today's hidden treasure. How could the glass not be cracked? It's a 103-year-old windshield, because sometimes you have to know what's in the barn. Woo!
Once he started What's in the Barn, all of a sudden, the museum admissions were hundreds and hundreds of people, where before it was only maybe 10 or 20 a day. All of a sudden we had hundreds of people coming in.
And after that, he came back to us on the History Channel for season 7 of American Restoration. The great news about all that television exposure was the exposure that Dale was getting and the museum was getting was just staggering. And of course, Dale being Dale, he also augmented that with his, foray into the social media.
He was so ahead of the curve in so many different avenues. One of the things I look back on, he was doing streaming videos in 2004, 2005. This is before YouTube was even a thing. He was creating hundreds of videos, creating a library, because he saw the future of television and the future of connecting with people done through the internet. And, he put immense amounts of energy into that, and it still is paying off today. And his mission was really to keep Wheels Through Time in front of people, and he found a million ways to do it. You know, there's things like the 24-hour runs and the coast-to-coast runs and the land speed record stuff that we all did with old bikes. You know, he'd pour immense amount of thought and energy. Like the Fred Ham run, for example, we took a 1937 Harley-Davidson Knucklehead and rebroke, or attempted to rebreak, the 24-hour record that was set in 1937 on a really similar bike. It was done by a guy named Fred Ham. And, you know, immense amount of effort went into, you know, restoring the bike, hundreds and hundreds of hours, you know, making the connection with Talladega, assembling the team to go down there and try and re-break this record, all with the mission and vision of keeping Wheels Through Time in front of people. And it proved incredibly successful.
So one day I get a phone call from Dale. He says, we're going to ride coast to coast. You in? I said, what are you talking about? He says, you in? I said, yeah, sure, I'm in. What are we talking about? He said, a group of us are going to get these old motorcycles. They have to be 1915 or older. I'm going to ride coast to coast. We all rode out on, most of us were on 1915 Harleys. And we rode from Kitty Hawk, North Carolina to Santa Monica, California. And he would live for stuff like this. And every day he'd be out riding, and every night he'd be in the parking lot wrenching, seldom on his own bike.
Dale was rescuing everybody. He was so kind and thoughtful and helping everybody and trying to work on his own bike, but everybody was in his trailer looking for parts and advice, and he was pretty patient.
That was Dale Walksler. Always willing to help anyone and everyone on their bikes, never expecting anything in return, and then moving on to the next one. He was a force of nature in the vintage motorcycle world.
One day he got one of the old bikes out. I don't remember which one it was. It had a sidecar on it. And Shiloh, his dog, was riding in the sidecar with him, and he pulled up out front. He told Shiloh, he said, get out. He said, come on, Gerald, get in here. He didn't have a seat in it. He had a piece of foam in the bottom floor of that sidecar. And I got on that piece of foam in that sidecar on my knees, and he took me plumb to the top of the mountain behind this museum, throwing gravel and spinning, and hanging on in that sidecar on my knees. And thank God I was hanging on, because he did not let up. That was my first sidecar experience in my life, and the last one. So.
Riding out into the open air. The wind rushes over your helmet. Vibrations trigger your adrenaline. Fragments of color catch your eye. Your senses embrace the power of the journey. Welcome to my world. What's yours? Your ride, your pace, your story. Let's ride this May in Tallahassee.
Wildwood Antique Malls, 3 amazing locations in Florida to find your treasures. Vero Beach, Eustis, Wildwood. More than just antiques, tons of rare collectibles, toys, books, vintage furniture, records, jewelry, and so much more. Open 7 days a week. Great staff, clean and air conditioned. A great shopping pleasure for the whole family. Put it on your bucket list, because it's a must-see at these 3 locations. For more information, wildwoodantiquemalls.com.
We headed out of town, and we turned down this road, and there was a cornfield with a cable across the little farm road, which said no trespassing. And Dale, without hesitation, just rode up to it and lifted the cable up and waved me underneath it. And so we ended up going trail riding. I was on a Hemi Crocker, and he was on this original paint Harley 45. And at one point, I'm dragging all these weeds behind me with the Crocker, and I said, Dale, what happens if I crash this thing and wreck it? He goes, well, fix it. And that's just the way Dale was. I mean, there was nothing that he had that he didn't want to use.
Actually, the bike I'm going to do this on is about a $250,000 motorcycle.
People look around the museum and assume that motorcycles are what mattered most to Dale, and what really mattered most was people. He had this ability to relate to people and connect with people that is rare in this world. And most folks that knew Dale, or folks that had known him for 30 years, or folks that walked into the museum first time, ended up leaving feeling like they'd been friends for a long time. And he just had that effect on people.
He loved to know their personal stories. He liked to find out where they were from and what they did. And more importantly than anything, he made them feel welcome at Wheelchair Time, and made everybody kind of unique in their experience of coming to this museum.
He was a generous man, and not because he wanted people to know he was generous, but because that's who he is.
And some people would come in and never been here before, and he'd go out and welcome them and bring them on in for free. That was a big deal to them. It's a really, really big deal. And he done that a whole lot. When
Dale had the heart of an underdog, and he was all about like sticking up for other underdogs. The thing about Dale is, even though he was like a little guy like I was, he was a pretty fearsome guy.
Dale would do things for people a lot of times without them even knowing. Numerous times we would go out to dinner, especially when we were traveling.
And Dale secretly calling the waitress aside on the way out and paying for their breakfast.
Every time I talked to him on the phone, he would say, is there anything that you need down here? He was always a giving person, always willing to help, always a compassionate, understanding man.
And he looked at me and he goes, "You don't have a motorcycle lift?" And I said, "No, man, I just get on my knees and I build it right here on the floor." And he didn't say anything else. So about a week later, when he came back to pick the bike up, he pulls up in that little old minivan and he goes, "Come here, Gerald, help me." And I walk out in the parking lot, and here he's got a motorcycle lift he took out of the back of his shop, loaded it in that van, and brought me a lift.
Still got it.
It seems about impossible to describe my dad in one word or phrase, but if I had to pick one, it would be one of a kind.
Totally one of a kind, and just in any direction.
Visionary.
Dynamic.
What a dynamic personality. So full of energy.
Rambunctious. The ultimate enthusiasm.
Dedicated.
Relentless.
Passion. I don't think I've ever known anybody that had as much passion as he did.
Successful.
Confident.
Eccentric.
Extraordinary.
Amazing.
Sunny. I mean, he had a sunny disposition. He had an infectious enthusiasm about him.
Generous.
Romantic.
Dedicated.
Visionary dreamer.
A great man.
Knowledgeable, kind, thoughtful. There's just too many. I can't.
There is no one word that describes Dale Walksler. There couldn't possibly be one word to capture his beautiful, gigantic, outgoing, larger-than-life personality. There's just not one word.
When he first started collecting motorcycles, he had no idea what an impact he would have on the world.
I don't think that old motorcycles would be what they are today without Dale Walksler.
Harley-Davidson owes Dale big time.
I always consider him, one of my two greatest mentors. And, people kind of, as you go through life, kind of guide and direct you, and, things happen. And when it came to antique motorcycles, we were on the same page, and we had great mutual respect and admiration for each other. And he taught me a ton, across the board. And
he would dive into the history and the mechanics and the context out of which an individual machine emerged. He could not give that information away fast enough to our guests, and to me for that matter.
He wanted to share the story of the American motorcycle with every visitor that walked through the door. Not just to build a collection so people would think of how great he was, but he wanted the history of these bikes to be relatable to the guy who's been in the motorcycle world for his entire life to the person who's never seen an antique motorcycle until they walk in the doors of the museum. The passion that he poured into this place is not just visible, but it's really, in a sense, palpable. You can feel it when you walk in the door.
And he was one of the smartest person that I've ever been around or ever met, which I've met a lot in the motorcycle business. And he had more knowledge of the motorcycle than anybody that I've ever known. He was like an encyclopedia. And he knew what part went everywhere. On top of being a genius, he was a good mechanic, a real good mechanic. So
I remember just watching him and just trying to stuff as much of Dale as I could in my brain. I always said, if you could just download a little bit of what you know into my brain, I would know so much about old motorcycles. And I think that's the thing about Dale.
He was a great connector. He would find objects and things and motorcycles, and when they were put together, they actually told the whole story. So he would find a racing motorcycle from one gentleman, and then, you know, in his collecting, he would then somehow come across the helmet that he had, articles on this particular fella, his old, you know, iron racing shoe. And so even though history had separated all these things, Dale was able to bring all these things back and put them together again.
Dale had a really great, uncanny knack of knowing. You could tell him, like, I needed a certain part, and 3, 4, 5 years later, he would remember it, and you know, it would show up. I remember telling him once, like, I needed a quadrant bolt for the rear freewheel clutch on my 1914, and like 3 years later, here this original one shows up in a blister pack, and like out of nowhere, you know, he just remembered that. Oh, I know someone. And so that always was like the coolest thing, because you could tell him something you never knew, but you know, at some point it was going to happen.
It's just an incredible, contagious enthusiasm and a personality that just drew people to him. You know, I don't think there will ever be anybody else like him.
If Dale were here right now, I would say to Dale something that I told him many, many times, that yours is a life well lived.
All I can say is, well done.
Look at the foundation you've created.
A pretty incredible accomplishment, what you did here, and it affects people far beyond what I thought he ever dreamed that it would.
I know I wouldn't be the person I am today without this museum and the impact he personally had on me.
Thank you, Dale, for what you've done for me and what you've done for the motorcycle community worldwide.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
I love you.
Tell him how much I love him and how much I miss him.
How proud I am of you, and always will be, of the legacy that you built and what you left for the Walksler family to continue on with, and for generations of our visitors to come that are going to be able to see what you created.
Hey, buddy.
Let's get to work. Let's get that thing running.
Thanks for being my friend.
How much I appreciate allowing me to be a part of this whole museum.
Let's go get Dad and take him for a ride.
yeah, I'd tell him to lay a black mark about 50 feet through the building. And make a lot of noise.
He was good at that.
He enjoyed that.
God, I love that motorcycle. Thank you, everybody. That's it for the show.
Stay
Normally you have a manual time.
We are having a Good evening, everyone. What did you think about that? Is he not an amazing man? How about that? But before we get into it, we had some people join us during the movie, we had Terry King come on. How you doing, Terry King?
Hey, brother, what's up, man?
How you doing, sir?
Yep.
And then we had Fangs Bite You, our good friend Fangs Bite You. How you doing, Fangs? What's going on this evening?
Yeah, he was at the birthday party we were talking about before.
Yeah, he was. He was at the birthday party we were at. And he didn't dress up in the funniest gear, but he was dressed very nicely and looked very nice. And we all had a good time.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. It was just a really good time, good food, good friends, good music.
Yeah, it was. And I even jammed on the dance floor.
We even did some dancing.
Yeah, so we had a good time. But anyway, so what did you guys think about that? How about that museum?
Yeah, I know. When we went there, we were just impressed. And
Isn't that,
we
were lucky enough, sorry to interrupt, but we were lucky enough to actually go there.
Yes, we were. It's in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. And I'm telling you, it's just a beautiful place. And when that man said that he wrote up a mountain on the back of the shop,
now we know.
He's not joking, because this place is in a valley.
It's in the middle of the mountain.
Everywhere, all around it. So literally when you go there, the scenery is just as beautiful as where this place is. And I know when we went there, they were doing a run, a cannonball run, and all the motorcycles you had. See this weekend. All I got is biker clothes.
We know that's right, buddy.
So as he said, all he has is biker clothes, so I couldn't dress like the Roaring Twenties. And
I love it, Fangs.
That just happened to be how it is. We have another.
I forgot. Sorry to interrupt. I forgot.
Squirrel.
Happy birthday to you.
His birthday?
Yep, it was. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fangs. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had
birthday.
to sing. I know, my singing sucks.
Yeah,
I know. But anyways, back to the mountain and
it was just
the
beautiful.
museum.
It was just beautiful. Now, we never got a chance to meet Dale because he passed away. Oh, thanks, guys. We never got a chance to meet his father because he passed away, but we did have a good time meeting Matt.
Yeah,
he was the guy with the cool goatee. I was his son. And I'll tell you right now, his son is just as good as those bikes. Well, I don't know if he was taught by one of the best. So if his father was one of the best antique motorcycle mechanics for Harley there is, and there's actually 36 different American motorcycles, and every one of them 36 motorcycles, believe it or not, is represented at that museum.
And they all run.
Every
They all
single thing
run. Every single one of them starts up, turns over, and runs.
That's right. Just like at the end of the movie, you saw him with that weird bike that sounded like popping sound. That is the rarest motorcycle in the world, believe it or not. It's a one-off.
And we saw that bike.
Yes, we did.
We got to see it. We got close to it.
You could go right. You could touch it. You could sit on it if you want. That's actually also one of the most expensive motorcycles in the world, apparently. But it's just out there.
And it doesn't look like anything that special.
Well, Dale found it behind a wall in Chicago. I think is the story about that. He was saying happy birthday. And supposedly that's where that motorcycle originated from. It was a one-off prototype from a motorcycle company that only lasted a few years. So if that tells you the rarity of the bike, even all the bolts are different, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because it's all handmade. It's incredible. Incredible motorcycle. And we got a chance to see that there too. We had a chance to
We had a good time there. I mean, we got to go and we got to see everything. We got to interview Matt and we
just over a 1914 Harley, the one that you saw in there.
Yeah. Let's show you a little bit of what we saw. So we'll get into it and you'll get to see a little bit of it. And then when we have to stop, you can see the remainder of it on our YouTube channel.
Just go over to our YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to it and hit the button. Give it the thumbs up. Give it the thumbs up. Makes that algorithm shoot it out to more people.
All right. So let's get started and show you this one so you can see Matt and see what we saw. A great time. We just walked through the door and we literally don't know what to expect. This is our first time here. We've never been here and we want to see everything that they have to offer. So we're going to take you with us while we go through that. And if we're lucky enough, we might just get a special interview with a special guest. So you guys stick with us. Make sure you stay all the way through the interview so you can see everything that we have. It's going to be amazing.
I made these from Indian Forest there from 1928 to 42. This particular type is kind of the last generation, 38, 41, 42. They hop down the road really well. It's kind of like, you kind of compare it to like a V8 today. You know, most of your cars make running about 4 to 6 cylinders, but when you get something that has a V8, it's just like smooth, don't feel like it's working. This is kind of like, it's kind of like being in a boat, you know, the way that it runs. It's really great machine though. 31, 39, 31. The Henderson behind it's a 13. And then you're back to the Indian again, that's a 36. And then there's the 2 Excelsior Hendersons over that way. And then we also have a 17 Henderson right now. It's up at a friend of ours' house, and that guy, Good to see you. Hardly recognize you. Doing good? Yeah. Great. Yeah, you guys are doing okay. We've been jamming. It's the busiest year we've ever had. Just changing every day. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, get one of me too. What have you been working on? Oh, jeez. What haven't you been working on? I'm sure you could stay as busy as anybody. Man.
Yeah, I got 246 knuckles.
Good deal.
Completely original bikes.
See a lot of stops along the way.
Let my baby have a head injury. Don't use it like my head.
That thing really starts.
They're bouncy. Nothing starts.
Incredible. Incredible. I want to get a picture of it.
Hey there, we're here from Dale's Wheels Through Time in North Carolina, and I'm here with Matt Walksler, and we're going to get a little bit of inside experience within this beautiful 35,000 square foot facility holding nothing but beautiful, enormous motorcycles and beautiful other things that you and your father have built and collected. And we're going to go ahead and have you tell us a little bit about everything you've got here.
Sure. The museum, like you said, is about 36,000 square feet. Everything's American made. Everything in the building fires up and goes. My dad started collecting when he was a kid and really just chased his passion. So it's been a 52-year evolution the Wheels Through Time has. And it really just started really early with early American rare bikes. Here at the museum, there's prototypes, experimentals. There's over 150 racing machines, big focus on racing, big focus on originality. So there's a place for the restored motorcycles here, but at the same time, our best case scenarios are bikes when they've been really well cared for, untampered with, never messed with. So original condition stuff's big here. Bikes with character and bikes with personality and bikes with great stories, is that's what this place is all about. So it's changing a little bit all the time. Digging up new machines regularly. Got probably 15 or 18 restoration projects moving along in different phases in the shop. So there's never a dull moment around here. Every time you visit, you're sure to see something new. I think if you look at every bike here for 3 minutes, you'll be here for several days. So, individual bikes we could get into for, minutes, hours, even days at a time.
Every restoration project has its own story behind it, which is probably just phenomenal.
What it's all about here is the story. Without the human element, it's all just metal. It doesn't do anything by itself. It's all about the people and the places that have made all this stuff what it is today. So incredibly proud to be stewards of a lot of this stuff. And like I said, my dad really poured his life into this place. Hardest working guy I ever met. Worked at a proficiency that you just don't see often. He's as passionate of a guy as there was about anything, and loved to share his passion. So this is what this place is all about, and we'll keep it rolling for years to come.
And that's what sucked you into this lifestyle, because it is an amazing lifestyle.
It definitely is. This is so much more than a job. It's very much a life and a way of life. I've been around this stuff since I was a little kid. I watched my dad kind of hone his passion over all his years. Very fortunate to become passionate about a lot of the same things. If you ask me, it doesn't get much any cooler than American motorcycles. That's what it's all about. There's 34 brands of motorcycles here inside the museum. Big focus on Harley-Davidson. Harley's kind of dominated the American scene, but it's actually 34 brands of bikes in here. And like I said, they all fire up and go. A regular day in here, maybe we fire up 15, 20 motorcycles. I was actually getting ready to crank this 15 Harley up right here if you guys want to hear it run.
Definitely. And this is a 1520?
1,000 cc's. It's a single speed Harley-Davidson. So in 1915, they come out with a transmission, changed the whole game, versatility. All of a sudden, you could ride a bike 20, 40, 60 mile an hour all on the same motorcycle at the same time. So the single speed, so they made 9,000 bikes this year. This model, they only made 150 of. So it's a rare model. It's kind of a carryover from the previous years because they knew there were going to be some people that were kind of anti-change. So anyway, we run this bike here a little bit every day, clip along about 70 miles an hour. So it's really a capable bike. Usually starts on 1 or 2 kicks.
And this was a game changer, huh?
This was a special machine. So.
Just amazing. Choke.
Oil.
runs pretty good.
It is. And what I find fascinating is how they used to build it back then. Look, you got your oil, everything, and it's still the same.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot going on, but really the way I always looked at it is it had to be easy to use or nobody would have bought it. So throttle just like normal. You have a manual timing over here. It's a step start, clutch and brake, or clutch is on the foot, brake is right where normal brake's at on a motorcycle today. So easy to use, really capable. You can honk down the road on these bikes with modern traffic today. It's pretty impressive. So
do you find a big difference within 34 different types of bikes that you've had to learn how to ride them? I mean,
their idiosyncrasies and differences. Every bike's a little bit different. They start differently, they run differently, they take gas differently, they stop differently. So yeah, it's you're just like people, and you're always learning, and you can deal with the same bike over and over and over and over again, and you never really have it all completely down. So further back you go, the easier it gets.
Wow, that's amazing.
So
really, I thank you so much for your time, Matt. We've really learned a lot. This has been amazing here at Dale's Wheels Through Time. This is a really neat facility, and what you've done is just amazing. Please keep it up.
We definitely will. Thank you guys for being here. Hope to see you guys soon.
All right, guys, if you want to find more out about Wheels Through Time and you want to see more about it, you can find it out all about on
YouTube, Facebook. You can check out YouTube, Wheels Through Time on YouTube, and then on Facebook, Instagram, just about all the social media platforms. Try and keep content updated regularly. Make sure you subscribe if you can, and check out everything that's happening. Thanks.
Definitely make sure you subscribe. Okay, it does help. And make sure you like.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that. And if you'd like to see the rest of that, please go to our YouTube channel and look up the wonderful video with Matt Walksler and watch the entirety. It is fantastic. It was an insane trip. And we definitely,
beautiful ride, too.
we definitely suggest you take your toy hauler, you take your bike, and you head up to Cherokee.
That's Maggie Valley, right next to that.
That's right. And you go there and you check it out. That's right, Chris. It would be. And we've got some breaking news for you. That's right. Lawless Intent will be playing at Saturday at Windy Acres during the Leesburg Bike Fest.
It's going to be a party.
It's going to be a party. That's right, everybody.
It's a great rock and roll band. You want to come down. You want to see them. I was Tony, the drummer, chiming in here, telling us about where he's playing. And Windy Acres, it's basically like the Cabbage Patch or Cackleberry of Leesburg. Go down there, have a good time. You'll have a great time down there.
That's right. You don't want to miss it. All right, everybody, we're sorry, but it has come time, and we hope that you guys have had a wonderful night.
Yes, I mean, thank you for watching. Thank you for being there. Shoot. Tony said thank you guys for giving him the shout out.
Rock on, Tony, and we hope to see you. We can't be there Saturday because John's got to work, but we'll be going Thursday.
Dalen Galbraith.
We'll be going Thursday.
Okay, we'll be going Thursday. We'll be at Leesburg. We will be filming. We will be showing you stuff.
Hope to see you all there.
Hope to see you there. Exactly. We're going to be riding out there. Look for us out there. Get your picture taken with us, and we'll have a good time. So, again, keep it shiny side up, rubber side down. and
Deuces. We love you all.
Love you all.